And we're live.
I don't know if all of that got caught.
I hope it did, because I was just staring blankly.
You were like,
which is how I look at most people, especially when I'm on the train. I just
that's the way to make everyone feel really comfortable.
I stand over them and stare like that. It's endearing.
You know, before we get into this, there was a couple different people did the eyeball emoji.
Yeah.
On Twitter today, and I guess maybe they found out about the Yolmer Sanchez thing early. But I saw that, and I was looking for. You ever see that woman who can make her eyes really pop out big, like out of her eye socket, kind of?
Yeah.
I was hoping I could find a GIF of her, and that should replace the eyeball emoji. But what I ended up finding out was the judge from Who Framed Roger Rabbit, and that's my new guy in there. How his eyes turn into like a swords. That's what I'm going to start using for the eyeball thing. Not that I ever have breaking news, because I never do.
I love it. I was totally paying attention and not trying to move my laundry out of it. If you saw my Star Wars socks, congratulations.
Oh, baby.
So we wanted to do an emergency video because Daniel Palka's back. No, I'm just kidding. But that was nice to see that Palka did clear waivers.
That was.
He's back with AAA Charlotte, so hopefully we'll see a little bit more of him this year.
Yeah.
Even if it's just in the minors and then popping up for an occasional pinch hit. Glad for him.
Yeah, me too.
Yolmer did get outrighted today.
He got a red tag in his locker. Said that he just died. You know?
Yeah, I don't know that that's the end of the story for Yolmer. We'll see. Yeah. They can negotiate with him, as can all the other teams. But if nothing's out there for him, why not bring him back to be a utility player? That'd be nice.
He seems like the type of player, though, that's going to end up with a team that could utilize him well, and not just like, oh yeah, Yolmer should be a bench player. Of course, he should be a bench player, but you really kind of need the type of team that has a bunch of ass kickers on offense, and so that guy can kind of offset a little bit, and you could weather his poor hitting. The White Sox aren't that team yet, so it kind of makes sense. They need to get production out of every sort of spot. They don't have that one big ass kicker just yet.
Yeah, for sure. And I think, but what we really wanted to talk about tonight was we've been seeing it on Twitter a bit. It's probably on Facebook if we go over there.
Yeah.
I know my Sox Summer's been spending some time over there.
He loves it.
Might have to drag him back.
He gets like PTSD from going over to the Facebook side. He gets all fucked up. It
gets him excited, man. Yeah. He's excitable. But yeah, so what I've been seeing is a lot of people talking trades, and our guy Ken W.O. He's one to throw Madrigal into every trade.
Yes.
But it does incite people to say, like, you can't trade that guy. You just cannot trade that guy. He's untradeable. He's a laser show. He's a laser show, yeah. And so what I want to talk about is not that he's not good or that I don't think he's going to be good.
Yeah, right.
And the same with Andrew Vaughn, because he gets thrown into this as well. And people start talking about trading Andrew Vaughn because they know, like, if you're going to trade and try and get something valuable, you got to trade something that has some value.
This is something that a lot of people miss out there. They want to package up all the garbage that they know they don't want and then say that'll go to another team and we'll get a guy that we need. Usually on the other end of a trade, the person or entity on the other end, they'd like to get some shit they want too. So you gotta even that shit up. You gotta if a trade doesn't hurt a little bit, then you're not making a trade.
Right. I mean, like the idea of like loving the trade for your team, either you're missing what just happened, or that trade's just never going to happen.
Right.
Like yeah. If you're not going to be able to just go like Blake Rutherford plus 3 other non-prospects and get a real guy. Like
right.
And I'm saying this because like when I look at everyone's Sox machine off-season plans, like everyone's trading Blake Rutherford.
Yeah.
And getting something for him.
Yeah.
But that's not reality.
Right.
So if you wanted to go make a move, you've got to trade a guy like a big move, right? You're getting a pitcher or something. You got to trade an Andrew Vaughn. You got to trade a Nick Madrigal.
Yeah.
And what I want to talk about is just that they're not untradeable.
No, not at all.
And one of the main reasons is the positions that they play, it's difficult to generate a lot of value, right? Like a shortstop generates a ton of value. A center fielder generates a ton of value, and a pitcher will generate a ton of value.
Yep.
Because they're at the most premium positions.
Catchers can too.
Catchers can too if they're top end.
Yeah.
Like the top 10 catchers, you can definitely generate a bunch of value.
Yeah, like Yasmani Grandal can.
At second base, it's much tougher. Well, you could look at this year's WAR for second baseman. Like Jonathan Villar was like 24 homers, 40 stolen bases, just a fantastic year, and his WAR is like 4. Right, because it's because of his position. It's mainly because of his position. Mm-hmm. He does that at shortstop, which he's played.
Yeah.
If he did that at shortstop, it's 5, maybe 6.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, it's a big difference. And so you look at that and you go like, wow, man, look what you have to do at second base to generate that kind of value.
That's true.
And then you look at pitchers and you see like a Joe Musgrove with like a 3.5 WAR. And you're like, what the fuck did that guy do? He's a starting pitcher. That's all he did. So
you're like, who's a Joe Musgrove?
Yeah, I mean, like I don't think anyone.
Not saying you're going to give a Madrigal or a Joe Musgrove. Let's disconnect that point there because people take it too far.
Yeah, that's not what I'm saying. But like, if you're going to go after a starting pitcher, you've got to look at Madrigal or look at Vaughn and say, this may be their peak trade value. Right.
Could be.
Yeah. I'm not saying their peak value as a player. Right. I'm saying, or peak value to the organization. I'm saying peak trade value.
Right. Their perceived value might be no higher now than ever.
And so I thought up a couple guys, and maybe you did too.
Yeah.
And actually, I'll let you kick it off. Give me a guy, recent past, who everyone thought, this guy, I like this guy. He's going to be good. No one traded him. They had the opportunity to, and then they didn't. And then what happened to the guy?
Well, the classic Madrigal comp was from a very recent draft. I think it was 2012 draft. Is Christian Colon, drafted 4th overall, so very similar to Madrigal. He was drafted 4th overall as well. He was the high contact, very low strikeout guy, the middle infield type, just like Madrigal is. Drafted by the Royals, never panned out. On his 3rd team now. They never traded him when the prospect capital was high, and they didn't really get anything out of him. They just sort of floated off, and I think Madrigal is showing better than that. But we did have the bouncy ball last year, so you don't know. It's hard to tell.
That's true.
That's true.
I thought of Brandon Wood. I don't know if you guys remember this guy. This is around 2005, and the reason I remember it's around 2005 is that there was a lot of talk about trading Paulie right around that time.
Yeah.
And Brandon Wood was the hot name because he was in the Angels org, and that was supposed to be the new third baseman, I believe, third baseman or second baseman. I think he played kind of all the infield positions.
Yeah, he played a little short too.
And so that was the guy that was like, oh, you need to make him the centerpiece. He was like a number 3 Baseball America top prospect, all this stuff. He was the can't miss guy, and they refused to trade him. Like they could have had Paul Konerko. They could have had Paul Konerko from 2006 on. They chose Brandon Wood, and Paul Konerko is not even at a position that I would consider premium.
Right.
But you can definitely call this a miss because like Brandon Wood didn't do shit. Like you go look up his stats. There's almost no major league stats. I don't know if there's any.
Yeah. Right.
He just didn't pan out.
I mean, another guy in the same vein and the same system was Dallas McPherson.
Oh,
he was a top.
He came here.
Yeah, he came here for. I mean, you White Sox fans seen him recently. He had been on a milk carton, and then he came over here. He was a top 30 prospect, Baseball America, in back-to-back years. And again, it just never panned out. Sometimes it never pans out. So when you're looking at Andrew Vaughn is still he didn't even hit that great in A-ball last year. And I know he's in advanced college bat, and you're going to say, oh, he's tired or whatever. But don't count those chickens before they're hatched. I think I tweeted at NWI Steve this morning. Like I think a lot of people are saying you got to open the Abreu spot for Vaughn. Let Vaughn have a 1982 at Edmonton non-Kittle season before we say get the fuck out of the way, Jose. We need to put this guy at first base.
And I think a lot of the things that you hear about Vaughn, you heard just a few years ago about Zach Collins, and like the fact that you're just dismissing that. And saying like, oh no, but this time it's true.
It'll for sure happen.
Because why wouldn't the Sox tell you that they have question marks about someone's swing or like their pitch selection? Like, of course they're going to tell you that. They're going to come out and tell you that when he's in A-ball. No, they're not going to say that shit. They're gonna pump him up to be this great player. The pundits are saying like, oh, this is one of the best picks in the draft.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, great. Look, it doesn't mean anything yet. right? You got to get a little further.
That's
but
correct.
what it does mean is that his trade capital is huge right now. This is
absolutely
the
right.
best it's ever going to be, unless he comes to the major leagues and just knocks the shit out of the ball. And then you have a known commodity that you don't want to trade.
Absolutely.
Right? But so I think that's kind of the point. I'm not saying like he's going to be Zach Collins or he's going to be Dallas McPherson or like he's not going to be good or Nick Madrigal's not going to pan out. I'm just saying it's going to be tough for them to generate the kind of value that we're acting like we have right now when we're saying, I wouldn't trade this guy for a starting pitcher. I wouldn't trade this guy. One thing I keep hearing is I wouldn't trade Nick Madrigal for 1 year Mookie Betts. Now, right now, I wouldn't either.
Right.
And the reason I wouldn't
it's the position of the team.
Because the team's not in position to do it. But if right field was the only thing missing, I would do that. And the reason I would do that is because Mookie Betts can generate 6 to 8 wins this year.
Right.
And it may take Madrigal 3 to 5 years to do that. Right? Because if you think about it, like, don't think that he's just going to come out the gates and just crush. Right? He might come out the gate, and this first year, he might have a 1 WAR or a negative WAR. Right? Because there's an adjustment period. Like, you look at a lot of guys on our team, they had those adjustment periods. They struggled. So you can't assume that he's just going to be right out the gates. And then you got the next year, 2, maybe 3 WAR you have to be really fucking good at second base to generate more than that. So, yeah, if we were in a position where we're like, this is a playoff team and we can add Mookie Betts for a Nick Madrigal, you make that trade.
Yeah, you got to rip the Band-Aid off. You can't be afraid. We're getting into the part, and I wrote a blog post about this. I wanted the Sox to block your favorite prospect. And a lot of you are getting a little too comfortable in this rebuilding phase where everyone gets a chance. Not everyone gets a chance no more. And some of these guys you like, they're going to have to get traded. I'll flip it even one further, Treasy, especially with Vaughn in this case. This whole sustained success bullshit, fuck that shit, okay? Right now we're playing for a 4-year window, okay? A 4-year window. You know why it's a 4-year window? We got 4 years left of Moncada, right, with the 2020 year start. We got 4 years left of Lucas Giolito. We got 4 years left. Reynaldo Lopez might not be that important to this. And we just signed Yasmani Grandal to guess how many year deal?
4 years.
4-year deal, okay? Got a fucking 4-year window. If Andrew Vaughn isn't going to be ready to even be in the majors by year 3 of that deal, which is a possibility, I know everyone wants to listen to Chicago, but he might go AA full year next year, you don't know, and AAA full year the year after that and maybe not quite be ready yet. Well, then he'd be much more valuable to the White Sox in a trade tomorrow.
Yeah, I mean, they might leave him at AAA if things are going well at the corner infield, right? And there's no spot for him. Like, if you fill in the team, like, and let's say you get, some DH, you get Eric Thames, and he's hitting,
and he crushes.
Braves hitting, Grandal's hitting.
Yeah.
You're not bringing Vaughn up.
No.
There's guys in the Red Sox system that are stuck just like this, that are corner bats, can't get to the major leagues because they just can't get past all these guys.
I mean, Treasy, what if Zach Collins wakes up and starts hitting shit out of the ball?
It's very possible.
Then that's his spot. You got 6 years of control. That's his DH spot then. Sorry.
Exactly. And so, and it doesn't hurt you at all to have a guy in the minors who's ready to hit the shit out of the ball.
Absolutely not.
So, but if you get an opportunity to move that guy for something that could help you in this 4-year window and make you a team that can compete in this 4-year window, you got to kind of look at it and go, yeah, I'm going to do this. I'm going to make the team better. And I think one thing that bothers me is a lot of people look at these trades and get scared because one time the Sox traded Fernando Tatis for AL Cy Young winner James Shields. All right, I know he didn't want to sign it, but he should have.
What you want?
But no, the thing there is, like, you don't always. That's not always going to happen. You can't be scared of that happening. You need to be able to say, I have the balls to go out and make this trade. You can't get scared that, like, something bad will happen every time you trade. You can't be scared that you're on the other side of the Quintana deal with Cease and Eloy, right? Exactly. You just can't. Because if you're going to try and make the team better, you got to be willing to part with some of these guys.
That's right.
And now I'm not saying trade these guys right away. No. The right deal has to happen.
That's right.
But they're not untradeable. Right. It shouldn't be in your mind that they're going to be so good that you should never part ways with them. There's going to be deals that are going to come at the Sox, and they should be ready to strike if there's a good deal.
And if Hahn does this right, he is going to make a deal like that. He is going to make a deal where he's going to trade somebody either on the current roster or in the minors that you're going to be like, oh, fuck, I didn't want them to trade. But we're too far into this. You got to fucking believe in Hahn and just go with it, man. You got no choice.
Yeah, and you can't. If you got to remember too that there's trades where there's winners and losers, and then there's trades where you can't really discern it, right? I mean, I think one of my favorite debates that's been going on, and P. Knowles loves to get in on this, is the Mike Cameron versus Paul Konerko thing, right? Like, yeah, Cameron maybe generated more WAR, but we did win a World Series with Paul. You can't say that we would have with Cameron,
That's
right?
correct.
You don't know
That's
that,
right. You don't know
but
that.
you do know that you won a World Series, and you know that Paulie was a fan favorite.
Yep.
So this is how trades should be. This is the trade that you want to happen, right? That both sides are pretty happy in the deal.
Right.
You can't really tell who won.
Right.
Or even losing a trade. I'm sure all of our friends up on the north side are fine with Gleyber Torres tearing it up when they know that they made that trade and won a World Series.
Right.
You take that World Series. You just do.
Yeah. Flags fly forever. That's what they say.
All right. I got nothing else. You got anything else? All right, well, go buy one of these hats and go register for the go RSVP for the Festivus the 13th. We got links all over the place for it. Go check that out. We'll be posting some more of that tonight. We'll talk to you guys soon.